¡Viva la raza!
One of the most painful parts of being a wrestling fan is seeing our heroes die. It's one thing when they die of old age, after having lived a long life. But it's hard to take when one falls in the prime of their life. 2023, we had to say goodbye to WWE's Bray Wyatt and Ring of Honor's Jay Briscoe. The deaths of stars like Brian Pillman, Owen Hart, and so many others will never be forgotten either. The most painful loss, however, was Eddie Guerrero in 2005. Not only was he young, but when he died, Guerrero was still one of WWE's biggest stars on SmackDown. His death shook wrestling to its core, but 2 decades later, he's still popular, with fans often chanting his name and WWE mentioning him in storylines. Eddie Guerrero may have passed, but he still lives on. So today we are going to talk about the death and legacy of Eddie Guerrero. So let's go to the video. Eddie Guerrero began his wrestling career in 1986, and although he had stints in New Japan and ECW, it was in WCW during the Monday Night Wars that he found fame. Along with the likes of Dean Malenko, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, and more, Guerrero was one of the company's marquee cruiserweights. He held the Cruiserweight Championship twice and became the United States Champion as well. And though he was great in the ring and led acts like the LWO, Guerrero never became a main eventer. The distinction was hogged by the veterans of WCW. It was around the time that Vince Russo was fired from WCW that Eddie Guerrero asked to be released from his contract. In 2000, Guerrero shocked the wrestling world when he, Malenko, Perry Saturn, and Chris Benoit showed up on an episode of WWE's Monday Night Raw together. Christened the Radicals, they were an exciting faction, but quickly went out on their own. Guerrero found success as a singles star, including an entertaining partnership with China that saw him become Latino Heat. But after a DUI arrest in late 2001, WWE let him go. It was during this time away from the WWE that Eddie worked in smaller promotions such as the WWE and a fledgling Ring of Honor. When he came back the next year, he picked up where he left off. He teamed up and feuded with his cousin Chavo. He became a bigger star by the week, a heel so cool that you couldn't help but love him. In 2004, at No Way Out, Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. In 2005, he was part of an unforgettable feud with Rey Mysterio over the custody of Rey's son Dominic Mysterio. Eddie was so over that he was scheduled to beat Batista for the World Championship, then tragedy struck. Chavo Guerrero has spoken about what happened next many times, including in an episode of Dark Side of the Ring about the Chris Benoit tragedy. WWE was in Minneapolis, and on Sunday, November 13th, 2005, after Eddie Guerrero failed to answer a hotel wake-up call, Chavo went with security to his room. It was there that he found his cousin on the bathroom floor, unconscious and barely breathing. Eddie died in Chavo's arms at the age of 38. Raw the next night became a tribute show. It's most remembered now for those heartbreaking images of Eddie's best friend Chris Benoit bowling on the stage and in a video package. SmackDown was a tribute to Eddie Guerrero as well. Even though he was gone, he lived on as his close friendship with Rey Mysterio carried Rey to winning the 2006 Royal Rumble, which was followed by a World Championship win at WrestleMania 22. Guerrero even continued as part of his storylines, including a very controversial one between Rey and Batista, where a newly healed Batista told the babyface Rey that Eddie was in hell. Autopsy results for Eddie Guerrero revealed that he died of acute heart failure brought on by atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease from his past steroid use. In February 2006, WWE's wellness policy took effect, with many substances, including steroids, now banned. The death of such a beloved star in the prime of his life was the last straw in the heartbreaking wrestling world, where so many wrestlers died before their time. Eddie Guerrero has been gone for almost 2 decades, but he is still immensely popular. Unlike any other pastime superstar, if a wrestler does the 3 amigos or a frog splash, it's certain to draw Eddie, Eddie, Eddie chants from the crowd. Eddie's widow, Vicky Guerrero, worked in WWE for years and later AEW as a manager and GM, becoming one of the greatest heels in the business. Rhea Ripley's mommy nickname is a wink to Eddie Guerrero's "I am your puppy" gimmick. Last year, Rey and Dominic Mysterio's feud partially involved Dominic wishing Eddie was his real dad. There has also been the rebirth of the LWO in WWE on SmackDown, which Eddie founded in WCW. Eddie would have one child follow in his footsteps in that ring, that being Shaul Guerrero, also known as Raquel Diaz, who had a stint in WWE's NXT brand. Looking at names from outside Eddie's family and friends showcases how far his influence can reach. Several stars such as CM Punk, Mercedes Moné, Peyton Royce, and Seth Rollins have named Guerrero as a major influence on their style and decision to start wrestling. Many peers have praised Eddie's ability, such as Kurt Angle calling him the second greatest professional wrestler of all time behind Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho saying Guerrero was the best performer in the world, or Ric Flair citing him as one of his top 10 opponents ever. The phrase, "gone but not forgotten," is used often, but in Eddie Guerrero's case, it is so true. Years after his passing, fans still remember him, both for his in-ring talent and his charismatic ability to connect with fans in a way few others can. Whether it be as a wild heel or a babyface jumping into the stands to celebrate his newly won title with the fans who had always supported him. So today I talked about doing this video, the death and legacy of Eddie Guerrero. So what do you think about this video? If the video is good, please like it and also subscribe to my channel. So I say goodbye for today. May you all be blessed.